Hi, folks. Welcome to this taste challenge. We have now. I did a taste examination review discussion of Bud Light Lime. That was the old label, but for whatever reason, put to the new variety pack, October November 2019 variety pack. Bud Light Strawberryta, now known as the Rita Strawberryta. But if you look at the video, you'll see it still had the still had the old label. I know that Carlos Brito, when he took over Anheuser-Busch InBev, he said, "Why are we wasting? Waste. That's all we do is waste. That's why the company is failing." This was in 2008, 11 years ago. You know, we're not going to throw bottle caps like they had a bunch of bottle caps left over from the old natural ice label. Didn't matter. They were using them. So remember a few years ago, you saw the new natural ice, but many of them had the old bottle cap. Most natural ice drinkers or King Cobra, that was the same situation there. Drinkers are not going to worry about the cap. Okay. And who's going to buy the 12 pack of Strawberryta and worry about that? Really only people like us on the internet doing these things. Okay. So now we're back on the main channel and we're doing a rum challenge. And this is Friday slot. Saturday morning, we're planning to do Inverhouse Green Plaid Scotch whiskey, which apparently is a fast growing brand, not really in the USA, but overseas, India, not Pakistan so much, but India, Sri Lanka, those areas, Thailand. Against Buchanan's. That won't be a challenge. If you want to save time and effort, don't watch it, because all you're going to see is me talking about Inverhouse a little bit and then talking about Buchanan's, and then you'll see Buchanan's absolutely annihilated. It's going to be a farce. Then you'll see Buchanan's versus Highland Mist. Another catastrophic taste examination. That'll be Sunday morning. That's the plan. Not a video worth watching except for just general interest, casual interest. Will be no kind of challenge. There's no way. No way. Well, actually, let's cut to the chase. There's no way any blended Scotch whiskey I have in this house is going to compete against Buchanan's. And that's including two I've not even opened. Johnny Walker Red Label, I tried it one time. It was fine. Ain't no way it's going to compete against Buchanan's. And the John Barr. I mean, I don't think that's got a chance. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm not wrong. So get ready for a fiasco. Now, when I do Highland Mist against some of the other low-end products, yeah, that might be some marginal challenge. This is going to be a real challenge, though, because we got Bocador from Worldwide Distillers of Philadelphia. Really, the parent company is Charles Jacques and SE, established in 1884. Look, I didn't say 1984, 1884 they've been producing, or let's say sourcing might be a better term, sourcing rum, vodka, gin, whiskey, whether it's blended, straight, Scotch, Canadian, whatever, doesn't matter. And especially liqueurs, cordials. That's Jacques Hands. You can't take a tour. Be a fascinating tour. Probably be a better tour than any of those showcase tours you get, like at Jack Daniel's, something like that. This will be a real tour where you see the guts, you know, the internal operations of the company. But nah, they ain't going to take you on the tour there. It's a very low-funded company, family-owned. The old man doesn't come around much anymore. Yeah, it's still an old guy, been running the company since his daddy had it in the 1940s. We're talking about that kind of company. All right? They got no aesthetic enticements to go visit it. It's, you know, it's nothing that would make you want to. It's in a warehouse district in Philadelphia. It would not make you want to visit it, but that would be the most fascinating one. Now, when I went to Genesee Brewing in New York, Rochester, New York, which I drove to in my car from here at this house in the driveway all the way there, you know, such a disappointment because they say, look at our boutique brewery, and this is a little one room thing, and oh, you can look off the balcony, and the guy's like, don't come down here because you could slip, it's liability, you know, this is our. I said, that's not the real brewery though, right? No, 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 the big brewery is back there with all the smoke, the steam coming out, where they make all your Genesee ice and cream ale and all that. I said, that's what I want to see. They don't give tours there. Disappointing, right? Yeah. Now here's Heaven Hill's competitor, Kentucky Standard Distillers, Clubhouse Rum. No. You go to Heaven Hill, you do not see the main distillery tour because they don't exist. You go see the Heaven Hill Experience tour. I was like, that's bullcrap. It's not a real tour. It's just like, oh, this is how you make whiskey. Here's our products. And you walk around, they give you a good folksy tour. And it's like, I want to see the real operations. Same thing, the Evan Williams Experience. No, I don't want to see all that. The Jim Beam Experience. How about the Jim Beam tour to go see your internal operations? No. Now, Barton 1792 Distillery in Bardstown, Sazerac. Yeah, you take the real tour. See the real stuff. The good, the bad, and the ugly. You know, they had the barrel houses collapse last year and all this. They got forklifts going everywhere. It's not necessarily that safe, but the lady's like, don't step in front of the forklift. I'm like, don't worry. So that's a more hard hat tour. And then you go to Buffalo Trace, same thing. You can take the hard hat tour. It's about 2 hours. You got to make an appointment. Oh, I should have done it. But you go see the real operations, the real stuff. And, you know, Buffalo Trace, do they really promote Ancient Age? Their cheap, straight bourbon whiskey. You know the answer. They do not. But that's what you see. When you go on their tour, they got their Barton, 1792. It's a few little tiny warehouse, you know, little bottling facility. But what do you really see? By the thousands, Ancient Age. The $10 bottle. So for every one bottle of the Barton 1792 or every one bottle of the Blanton's single barrel, dozens and dozens and thousands probably of bottles of Ancient Age. You say, but that's old cheap bourbon. Yeah. I talked to some distributors before, wine distributors and all. I said, tell me about this Mogan David wine, you know, that comes in by just bushel barrels. And the guy was like, yeah, that's where we make a lot of money. If we didn't have Mogan David, we go out of business. You know, it's like, don't give short shrift. Don't write off the cheap brands. I'm not a champion of the cheap brands. You hear what I'm saying? But I'm saying that the volume is incredible. And Anheuser-Busch makes their natural ice, natural light, Molson Coors, Keystone Light. They are making major bank on this stuff. You say, but that's just people that work at a factory or work at a car repair shop. That's the common lower middle class people of America. They get off work, they drink a 6-pack of natural light and all of that. Exactly. That's what keeps the companies going, and that's what gives them the money in the pocket to put out the Budweiser, Jim Beam, barrel stave aged specialty items. That might not even make any money. It's just there to say we're in play. We're doing the exquisite stuff. Now, you see, so a company like Jacques Hennessy, they put out this common stuff and they make a lot of money. Laird's in New Jersey. You say Laird's is a distilling company in New Jersey? Yeah. And Majestic Distilling in Baltimore County, Maryland, in a warehouse district. You're not going to take a tour there. But they're putting out the Club 400 blended whiskey, the Club 400 straight bourbon, the Club 400 gin, rum, brandy. And I've talked to people in Maryland. They say everywhere you go in Maryland, turn left, turn right, look straight ahead, turn around, look behind you. It's Club 400. No one is saying this is exquisite stuff or it's desirable. You run behind it, go look for it. No, no, no. But there's money in it and a good deal of it. Okay, so on with this. And these are the kind of products I'm ranting about. Like, I'm not really ranting. I'm just talking about these are two examples of that. You know, no one, you're never going to turn on a television show and see it in advertisement for Clubhouse. That will not happen. Or Bocador. But it's there on the shelves and it's moving, 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 steady. Not, oh, it's CBS. You know, founder CBS sold out in one day here. One day it sold out. I saw it come in. I said, ho ho. Mathern's put on the shelf. It was gone. You went there at 5, 6 that evening. Forget it. You're not getting it. No promotionals, no announcements on Facebook. It's just on the shelf and it's gone. I got 2 bottles. And there was no bottle limit. They don't play that game over there, really. You got the cash or the credit card. I don't care how long as they're getting paid. You got the cash. You can buy the whole supply if you want it. All of it. Now, Blanton's, no, because people called ahead and said, I hear Blanton's is coming out. That's right, on such and such date, October, whatever, 30th. So people, I want to get Blanton's. No, your name's not. They had the bottles with the name tag on it. This is for John, Joe, Sally, Trahan, whatever. And they came, got their bottle. And the guy was like, I'm going to give you extra money to get an extra bottle of Blanton's. I said, you can't. It's all dedicated. You cannot give a bribe and get it. It ain't going to happen. Okay, but let's go back to the common stuff. So we're going to do the, okay. So we're going to, there's Clubhouse and here's Bocador. Are they very similar? Well, you could say they're identical, really. You get these common things, they're like all like the same. Now you might say, why even do the taste challenge? It's all like common, 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 common. Yes and no. Yes, it is, and the flavors are entirely or nearly entirely similar. On the other hand, there are little subtle differences, and there'll be little markers. And when you get used to drinking them, you start to say, I know that flavor, and oh, that's Bocador. Oh, that's, well, Caliber is unique. No, Caliber is not going to taste like anything else. I've never tasted a rum taste like rock candy. So that's, you know, but you know what I'm saying there. Now, the interesting thing also is that a lot of these common items can rival the big time items. Your Captain Morgan's, the Bacardi Superior. You take a Bacardi Superior or Captain Morgan White and put it in play against these, and you may not be able to tell the difference. And that's an important point, because you're talking about half the price. Not like, well, it's 10% cheaper. No, it's 50% cheaper. 100%. It's like you can't even grasp how much less expensive it is. And you can look at that in the beer world. I've got Keystone Ice in the fridge. Is it better than Coors Banquet? No one's going to say that. But it's $7.99 a 15-pack in Coors Banquet. You ain't never going to find it for $7.99 a 15-pack. And you could make the argument in many ways that it is in perhaps, not necessarily, perhaps better than Coors Banquet. Okay, and my friend David, who's the pickiest person I've ever met when it comes to beer, I mean, he'll just rip these things apart, but then he'll turn around and go buy more of it, you know. But he'll get Keystone Ice all day long. Okay, so now they're both clear. What do you expect? They're clear rum made from pale molasses, light molasses. You could buy it at the store. Now, do you get dark rums that are made from things like blackstrap molasses, like Burr Rabbit? You surely do. And you could almost eat those like a candy. They're so thick, like the Myers is. I mean, that stuff is tar. It's a beautiful product. You couldn't drink too much. It's a fabulous product, really. And yeah, you're going to pay $18, $19 a bottle, regular size bottle, but you're going to get a major payoff, and you can make your plantation punch and all of that. So these are very versatile rums. They're not really designed for what I'm doing, sipping and taste challenging them. Although Bacardi had an ad campaign in the late 1970s that focused on that. They were saying, yeah, and you can do the search or look on alcohol eggs if you really got time to go through all that. I'd just do a Google or Yahoo or Bing search. But they were saying, look, this is what the ads were saying. I thought it was a brilliant magazine ad campaign. They were saying, look, people do not buy Bacardi Superior or the white to drink on its own. They don't do that. They buy it for mixed drinks, and then they talk about all the mixed drinks. They said, but the key to it really is you drink it neat, just as an experiment, and you say, oh, okay, that's where the rubber hits the road, and you'll notice things in that neat experience that, or straight, people say, that you wouldn't pick up in just on a cocktail. So that's what Bacardi was saying. If you drink it neat, you're going to find out why the cocktails are so good, because it's so expertly made. The quality standards are incredible. And I've encountered that and noticed that and have agreed with that. I have a bottle of Bacardi Superior left. So it's unbelievable what they do in mass production. We're talking about millions of gallons every week from Puerto Rico all over the world. And you never can, there's never going to be a bad batch. You say, what about Budweiser? Yeah, same example. People love to rip on Budweiser. If you bring up the word Budweiser to the beer world, they say, no. And I just never could see that. I said, well, every time I drink Budweiser, and I like to try to think on these things like real carefully, almost try to drink through it than just drink it. Like Stevie Nicks said in that song, The Blue Lamp. I bring that up often because I think she had the same viewpoint. Don't listen to her, listen through her. So it's like you listen through the beer, you drink through the beer. And then you just say, oh, the Budweiser's always hitting every target point in the flavor. It's just, it's incredible. All right, so these are pretty nice too. And I think these little smaller companies can do things. If one should call Heaven Hill a small company, I wouldn't say that, but Charles Jacques Hennessy is been around since 1884. Here we go. Well, the whole cut and dry, I appreciate these products. It's like a little adventure every time, like little adventures, and I enjoy little adventures. Peppery. There is candy sugar. Think of like I was going to say confectioner's sugar, but I think that's a little too sugary. Maybe like a powdered sugar that you would get at like a Cafe Du Monde or Morning Call whenever they come back in business, if they come back in business. That was the real place. I used to love that place. But that you would put on the beignets, powdered sugar. So that it's kind of like that. This is a very low profile rum. Very low. Everything is subtle. It's like a whisper. Everything is a whisper, the aroma and the flavor. Now this one is a little more pronounced. This one is a little more loud, a little louder. It's not so subtle. It's not, I'm not saying it's obnoxious or anything like that. It's got a little more, it's a bolder flavor, a bolder aroma, which is making me think it must be the, I think the Heaven Hill, the Clubhouse, they kind of a little louder. They're not as subtle or demure, you see. So, and I like the Heaven Hill not private label. That's not the term. The proprietary brands. Private label would be attached to a grocery store chain or a liquor store. The proprietary brands, the ones they sell under their own name, but it's still them, like the Clubhouse and the Quality House is another one they run. Quality House might be the same stuff. I do not know. But it settles down. If you keep sniffing it, it'll settle down. It calms down a little bit. So that's my initial impression. That's the Clubhouse. And the Clubhouse gin is a jewel. I mean, if you see Clubhouse gin, you might say, or that's junk. No, it has very interesting lemon notes. And you would say, why would it have lemon lime notes? This I do not know. It's quite a fascinating gin. Seen it once, bought it once, never saw it again, but it's out there. Okay, so very subtle. Let's go with the taste. And I think this is going to be the Bocador, but I think if you were rushing through it, and people do I watch videos where they're like talking faster than I can think. You know, hey YouTube, hey guys, you know, it's like graphics, ding 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 ding. Here I am, hey, and they're going on and on. I'm like, I don't even know what I can't keep up. It's like noise pollution or something. Jump Cut Festival is and then that's my score. And you know, like, comment, subscribe, and tell me what you think. And then you tell them, and they don't respond. So it's like, well, this is not a review. This is some kind of production. Then a year later, you never see them again. Then you check their videos. Oh yeah, he did a video 11 months ago. He ain't coming back. Thought they were gonna, you know, hit the big time, be on CBS. Yeah. You see, there's a lot of wood going on here. Wood. I don't know how people say, you got a southern accent. I don't know how to say that word, wood. It's just W-O-O-D. So wood. You know, I don't know why that. It's just wood, you know, wood. Chop it, can burn it, make a house with it. Okay, so the strange thing about this, nowhere does it indicate it's imported, nor does it reference the Caribbean. It just says clubhouse, and it's got golf clubs and fishing poles and a clubhouse in the background, like a country club. It's nice. It's pen and ink. I like pen and ink. Whoever they hired to do the label was brilliant. Rum. But they don't say imported from the Caribbean. It just say bottled in Kentucky. Could it be? And you can feel it. Like the writing, you can feel it's filigreed. It's not just flat. It's like if you had no vision, you could still make out what is there in a way. It's fascinating in that sense. Could it be a rum made in Kentucky? This, you know, distilled, aged, charcoal filtered, and bottled in Kentucky? I wouldn't be shocked. It has some notes of the char that remind me of a bourbon barrel. You say, oh, no. Could they be aging it in used bourbon barrels? I would not. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised. I would actually believe that's what's going on. Does that make it bad or anything? No, there's no law that rum has to be made on Saint Martin Island, or St. Eustatius, or Martinique, or Guadeloupe, or any of that. St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It can be. Typically, that's where it comes from. Could you make rum in Louisiana and Kentucky? Sure. No problem, man. No problem. You could do it. I get the impression that's what's being done here. If you think, you say, I think I'm picking up a bourbon barrel or something. Now, the other one, the Bocador, is saying original superior. I don't know about superior. This has got a rumple. It's like Remember, you know how those cars have that, what they call it, beaded leather, or like in my Ram truck, it's beaded vinyl. And people get into my truck and they say, "Oh man, I love leather seats," and I'm like, I never tell them anything. They think it's leather, but I don't say anything because it's really comfortable. And it's got that beaded feeling. It says the original Bocador rum, famous, and this is from 1971. I got the trademark data on. I couldn't get any trademark data on Clubhouse. It said 2002. I was like, ain't no way it was from 2002. It's way older than that. The original Bocador rum should be a comma there. Famous for its character, because you got a subordinate and a independent clause, but that's all right. Well, actually, that's two subordinate clauses. But made by master distillers where the tropical winds blow. Well, you know, the tropical winds don't blow in Kentucky. You know, humid continental winds might blow in Kentucky and be cold as a witch's refrigerator. Oh, I said Kentucky. Philadelphia, even more continental climate. Some might call it dang cold. Okay, I'm going to call it. Which one's better? Well, that's the question of the hour, and I don't know if you could ever substantiate that. Golly, that's a pleasant rum. I never had tried rum until last year. People kept saying, try rum, rum. I hear rum every day of my life. I said, okay, I'll do it. Then I'll get caught up in it, which is exactly what happened. Now I'm stuck with all these bottles. And I haven't even cracked open the Ron Pontalba Gold nor the Ron Pontalba White. And they're just sitting there, liter bottles, waiting to be cracked. Ron Pontalba, wait till you see that. It's a personal preference issue, honestly. If you prefer more wood, go with the Clubhouse. You got it. If you prefer more sugar, go with the Bocador. The proof doesn't matter. They're both 80. What about the aging? It's so minimal. I'd be shocked if they were aged a year. And let's just call it. They ain't. Superiorias from Bacardi. It's aged at least 1 year and probably not a second longer. Well, now it's time for the reveal. Kind of scary, but let's see. Well, you hear that airplane? Yeah, I'm trying to change this. I think I got it wrong. Ha, 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 ha. Okay, so let's see. How can I pivot and deflect and come up with some? Let's see, think of something. They're just inexpensive brands, and no one cares about that. So it doesn't matter if I got it wrong. That's my cover story, you see. It's immaterial. They're both $6.99 a bottle. Well, the Bocador was $8.99, and the Clubhouse was $6.99. Oh, it doesn't matter if you got it wrong. I mean, I know the truth. It does matter, but you pretend that it doesn't. Juan Ep. Oh, bagosh. Oshkosh bagosh. But then on the upside of this, look how much I have left. I've got like 85% of the bottle left. You think I got a lot of opportunities to get it right and get a handle on the taste? I think I do. Look at this bottle. I got like 80% left. You think I got a lot of opportunities to get the taste challenge straight? I think I do. No, I mean, so anyway, oh yeah, murmur. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, say no more. It doesn't always work out. But I did kind of put in some deniability, because what did I say off the bat? I said, well, they're both high quality and the flavors are pleasant, and either way the cut goes, they're enjoyable. And if I got them mixed up, that just, hey, I got them mixed up. Too bad for me. Tough luck. Live with it. Well, I have to live with it. But if I can't even tell them apart, and one is $2 more, guess which one I'm buying? You know which one I'm buying. I'm buying the cheaper one. I'm gonna pay $6.99 instead of $8.99, especially if I can't tell them apart. The ultimate lesson in all of this is, can you get a really enjoyable clear, white, silver, whatever you want to call it, rum for less than $10? Absolutely. You best to believe it. And I have even more shocking news. I went to international market, which I need to go back to. Yeah. They have Castillo from Bacardi. Now, this is no joke. This is not a drill. $5.99 for a liter. I saw that. I almost burst into tears. My jaw dropped. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I wanted to tear my teeth out. And then it hit me like a diamond bullet in the forehead. And I said, oh, anytime you think you got it nailed down, you don't. Because I was bragging here, there, and everywhere about getting Castillo for $7.99 a liter. I was saying, yeah. Guess what? I went to Discount Depot. I got Castillo for $7.99 a liter. How you feel? Don't you feel jealous and envious? And people were saying, I do. And then I go to international market, and I look on the shelf, and I'm like, I had to take my glasses off, because these are for seeing far away, really. You know, they're not for up close. When I'm looking at stuff up close, I can't see it. It's blurry. So I said, I gotta take my glasses off. So I got on the shelf. It was kind of dusty, and I'm like slapped on my face. I said, Castillo silver, our Chihuahua for $5.99. I said, well, it just doesn't end. Like, every time you think you've beat the deal beats you. You know, you say, oh, no, you'll never get it for that much cheaper. And then, oh, you can't believe it. So if you come to Louisiana and you go to Discount Depot and you go to Savannah Discount and you go to International Market, you will be shocked, stunned. You better bring some money, because you're going to need it. You will not believe it. And you say, well, there's probably 50 more places like that you're not aware of. Yeah. There's probably 100 more places like that, from Shreveport to Monroe to Lake Charles to Slidell to Houma to Alexandria, that I'm not aware of. Cannot believe it. When you go to international market, you can't quite believe it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're in there and you say, oh, I want this, that. But then you say, no. Okay, I have a house full of stuff. I have to calm down. I can't buy it all. I can't do it. But you know in your heart, when you go back, some of the stuff you were looking at is no way going to be there. You know that. You say, it ain't going to be there. Like that Seagram 7 Crown, which was probably the 86 proof, 6-year aged. And I kept saying, oh, no. I'll come back. When you come back, that's it. That's gone. That's been gone. Come on, man. That's been gone. They got all the new bottles. because their turnover is so mind-boggling. I mean, there's people coming in and out of that store all day long. It's a grocery store that's unlike any grocery store you've ever seen. And so you have to have some kind of self-control, because you just go berserk. So you just say, okay, I'm going to pinpoint something. So when I went in there last time, I said, I'm going to pinpoint on Highland Mist. Is it going to be great? It might be tolerable, is what I was figuring. I said, but I cannot wait. If I come back in a month, there's no way in this world that I will come back in a month and there will be $5.99 bottles of Highland Mist on the shelf. That will not happen. That cannot happen. And I bought it. Now, when I go back again, there's no way it's going to be on the shelf. It's cleared out. I don't know where they're getting this stuff. I don't know how they're getting it. I don't know what is. It makes you suspicious a little bit, like something's up, but you just go in there. You don't ask too many questions. You get your stuff and get out. That's the kind of place it is. But it's something else. So that's okay. So this is a tie, except that it's a $2 difference. So the Clubhouse wins by default. There's no other way you can look at it. So if I was looking to buy Clubhouse or Bocador, and actually I wouldn't be looking to do that, I would go with whatever's cheaper. It's like either way you get a benefit. Get the benefit. Now, let me just be sure about that. You can't really tell on the neck. It's so close. You see, but that doesn't have much aroma. That's like pretty denuded. Okay, I'll do one more little 1/4 ounce. Come on, you jackanape. And then I'll do a 1/4 ounce over here, just to be on the safe side. Because like Michael Corleone said, just want to wait. All right. Okay. Yeah, this one has the wood and this one is denuded. Ah, that's the Bocador. So the Bocador has the wood. Okay, I'm thinking Kentucky wood, bourbon. When you think of Philadelphia, you think of Liberty Bell and Chickie and Pete's, Chickie and Pete's, and Temple University and all that. But you don't think of wood barrel age. So, okay. And the Palladium. Don't forget the Palladium in Philadelphia. Okay, well, sometimes you get schooled. You think you're running a school, but you're getting schooled. But that's the way the cut goes. Makes sense, right? But either way the cut goes, you got to call it. You have to. What am I trying to say? I know what I'm trying to say. You have to be willing to take the risk of getting it wrong. So next, for my next trick, next time we revisit rum, which will be coming up in a week, so something like that, less than a week. We're going to do Clubhouse versus Captain Morgan. That's going to be tricky. That's going to be pretty dang tricky. So bear with me. Man, that one's going to be pretty interesting. Okay, and then that'll close out the Clubhouse, and then it'll be the nefarious Ron Rio. Well, that will be no challenge. Be a challenge to drink it, but it'll be no challenge as far as telling one from the other. It'll just be a challenge like you wonder if you're going to die if you drink it. I never tasted anything like Ron Rio. That's the thing that is and should never be. But and then we'll do Bocador versus Captain Morgan. So we'll do Ron Rio versus Bocador. Oh, here's the lineup: Clubhouse versus Captain Morgan, and then Ron Rio versus Bocador, and Ron Rio versus Captain Morgan, and then Bocador versus Captain Morgan. And that will close that out. Then we'll introduce the Ron Pontalba White versus everybody, which will take months. And then we'll do the Ron Rio Gold versus everybody, which will take another set of months. And then that'll be it for rum. I think I won't buy any more. And then we'll just slowly, over the next few years, drink them all down. And that'll be the end of the rum experience. And I know that's going to disappoint people because they'll say, what about and I'm saying yes, I would like to try all those, but I can't really just drink all that. I want to, obviously, but and if you go to Walmart, I mean, you could make a career out of all the rum they got. I mean, really, you could literally. But I say, no, it's probably not a good idea. Just close it out. I got so much Scotch, Canadian whiskey, American blended whiskey, straight bourbon. I've got so much of that stuff. That's going to keep us occupied for years, and maybe 10 years. And I am not exaggerating. If you came over here, you'd be like, yeah, looks like about 10 years. Okay, thanks for watching this video production.